Between hurricanes bearing down on the coast, severe weather and flooding all throughout the Midwest, and the occasional earthquake shaking the state, the Better Business Bureau of Central Oklahoma is reminding folks about the importance of just being prepared. Here to talk a little bit more about it, we have Sean Rose. He is with the BBB joining us this morning. All right, so what do we need to do to be prepared? Because it always happens when you least expect it.
Absolutely, and September being National Preparedness Month, it's always kind of good to refresh that and, blow the dust off your emergency plans and kits and make sure you're kind of in the right spot.
What's the first thing that we need to do?
Absolutely. So the first thing you need to do is actually come up with a plan. Amazingly enough, some people don't have a plan, which is understandable, but there's different types of disasters that strike the state, so there's going to be different types of responses you might have. So kind of just put them all down on a piece of paper. Knowing and being aware is always good. Things people always kind of forget about is, what are you going to do with pets if you have any? If you have any adults or relatives that live with you that are, that have accessibility needs, stuff like that, how are you going to help them? Where are you going to meet? All that kind of good stuff. And then making sure you have a kit together.
Yeah, what's in this kit?
So it really kind of varies. What's great is BBB and Ready.gov and FEMA have all kind of come up with different lists of here's some potential things you put in the kit. But it's anything that's like, if your house has been destroyed by a natural disaster and you need to be out the door, what are you going to need to make sure you have so you can kind of survive for a little bit. And then always make sure that you're talking to your family members. The funny thing is a plan is only as good as how many people know it. So make sure you sit down with your family, talk to them, discuss with them, say, hey, here's the plan, here's where we meet, here's what's going to happen. Remember that in sometimes, like especially the 2013 storms, 2012 storms, there weren't a lot of great communication ability. So people couldn't really text or call on their phones. So make sure that you have a way to communicate with them in the event that might happen as well.
And know that your cell phone might or probably won't be working if it's something like that.
It's very possible, because you never know if those storms took out a cell phone tower or what. So.
Right. And then let's also talk a little bit about the business aspect. So if you own a business.
So yeah, and with business owners, it's really important that you make sure you have a plan and make sure all your employees kind of know. Anywhere from like a property inventory, so things that that you have, how many computers, keyboards, monitors, TVs, whatever, just so you know what property is in there. Make sure you read your insurance policies and you're up to date on all that. And also identify key staff. So if your business is affected or impacted by a storm, who's the key staff that's going to be able to keep those operations running? Is your building even going to be in an accessible state to where you can? If not, where are you going to take your operations to? And always make sure that everybody in your business knows here's the plan. The other big thing is that if you're one of the key leaders of your business, if something, heaven forbid, happens to you, what's your succession planning? Who's going to be able to help keep this business running and keep things going? And what do you do in the event that one of your key leadership is unable to be there?
Interesting. Speaking of the inventory thing you mentioned, is also great for homes as well, residential. That's one thing. I had a friend that lost her home, and she had wished that she would have taken pictures of her entire house for the inventory purposes. So if you want more information about the BBB, if you have a question for them, you can go to oklahomacity.bbb. You can also call 239-6081. Sean, thanks for being here. Appreciate you, and we'll be right back.